If you want a stable solution where IPs are not rotated, what you do is you buy ISP proxies, put them to some proxy checker like PixelScan. If you see its data center, go to your internet service provider and demand them to change it to a better one. I believe an affiliate should be more focused on maximizing ROIs, finding better offers, just find some stable solutions and use them. Don't get into technical details as much as possible. That's what I think.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to give a shout outs to our sponsor, Ringba, the #1 call tracking platform. If you haven't already, make sure to get the pay-per-call revolution if you want to learn what all the excitement is about pay-per-call.
Do you advertise with Facebook, TikTok, or any other platform where maybe you need multiple accounts? You're going to want to listen to this podcast. I am the co-founder of Multilogin and the CEO of Nodemaven, which is a new proxy service. My man Stan with me. How are you doing, brother?
I'm John.
Thanks for joining me here at Philly World, another show, following up on our last podcast about a year or two ago. So what's changed, Matt? I know you launched this new proxy service. Tell me a little bit about Nodemaven.
Thanks very much for inviting here. I'm happy that before I made an interview for you and now you're doing an interview for me. Queen Con Pro, or how do they say it?
That's it for that.
Yeah, like that. Happy to be sitting here. The conference is amazing, by the way. Previously, I did Multilogin. While doing Multilogin, we encountered and we worked with a lot of problems of our users in account bans and restrictions. And while working in Multilogin and trying to create a perfect solution, a lot of success came down to selecting the right proxy provider. So what we did is, instead of recommending specific proxy providers, we decided to create our own proxy service with blackjack and hookers, as a famous saying. So yeah, now I'm doing a proxy service, but still in the industry of anti-detects, trying to understand what works, doing a lot of research and development to help affiliates and internet marketers run their accounts without bans.
And you were just talking before this video about specific use cases, and we were saying that account farming, meaning creating accounts, new accounts, that's been a high value use case for your solution that you've built.
Yes, so whenever you're as an affiliate managing multiple Facebook, Google, or TikTok ad accounts, you have to make a decision what anti-detect browser you're using. At this point, I think it's safe to say that it's just best to choose any type of anti-detect browser that you like, because the top ones provide enough security for those websites, I believe. When it comes to proxies, it's a bit different story. Specifically, Nodemaven works really well for farmed accounts. The reason being is that Nodemaven gives you IP addresses which are seen by websites as very legit. If you check our proxies in multiple checkers, PixelScan, IPA, or any other IP checker tools, we will bypass with flying colors. However, since we are a rotating proxy, IP can change sometime. We try to push the boundaries of rotation and keep it 24 hours as much as possible, but it doesn't work for all use cases, to be honest. Nodemaven works really well for farmed accounts, maybe sometimes for rented, but for rented and existing accounts, I actually think there is one solution that is the best.
Which is?
So the best solution, I think, like the foolproof solution, is actually to try and find ISP proxies. ISP proxies are these like static proxies that do not change, but the proxy provider guarantees that it comes from a residential provider.
So residential proxies.
Yes, but the problem is that a lot of residential proxy providers, they lie. Really, you go to buy 10 ISP proxies, guaranteed at least 50% of them will likely be data center.
So they blend in data center proxies.
They do not blend. The reason why it happens is the way how they acquire them. I don't want to really go into too much detail here, but what they do is they buy data center proxies in bulk, go to internet service providers and tell them, hey, declare these data center proxies as your own. And they do it as agreed, but the problem is that the databases are very slow in being updated. So when a user gets this supposedly ISP proxy to serve, like to use it for Facebook, it's still not updated in database. It's still data center in their eyes. It takes time to be updated. While, for example, in rotating residential proxies, IPs come from real devices. These IPs are already declared as residential as for a long time ago. So if you want a stable solution where IPs are not rotated, what you do is you buy ISP proxies, put them to some proxy checker like PixelScan. If you see its data center, go to your internet service provider and demand them to change it to a better one. That's the solution. Or what you can do is you can use Nodemaven. It also works. There you will be guaranteed to get a residential IP, but you have to accept the fact that the IP may change. But there are ways how you can work around that. You can lock a proxy to a specific city, region, and internet service provider, which will decrease the number of bands.
So that it shows this is local changing within.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you could also say that it's normal behavior to move about within the city. And that's the idea, right?
Yes, it's normal behavior that the IP changes, but I'm just saying that the most foolproof solution, if a user really wants a foolproof solution, then it's best to use ISP proxy and then check them for quality. If you don't want to do that, you can use a high quality provider of proxies. We do that, and it works for farming accounts. It also works for managing accounts. And you see, I just don't want to. You see, there is no data to support that you need a very static IP address all of the times. And there is no data to support that frequent rotation harms anything. It's just perception of a user when the account goes down.
Thinking about it logically as like a person, right?
Yes,
More or
I
less.
believe if you use a stable solution like multi-login and you use a high-quality residential proxy that filters for IP quality, it should be enough. The rest should fall under behavioral data and how you farm and how you manage the account.
So, any tips around farming? If you're specifically using Nodemaven, which you believe is the best for farming, why do you believe it's the best? And what are some best practices you could recommend, whether it's Facebook or TikTok?
To be honest, for Facebook, I really believe that farmed accounts really work. These are standard practices. Pre-farm the browser profile. Then what you do is you register with a popular email like Gmail account. Then you do a couple of activities. You start your ad accounts small. You create a Facebook fan page before running ads. Run ads at $1 per day for some time, and do it very slowly. I believe this works. I really believe this works. For Google, it's much more trickier. Right now, there's a lot of issues with Google and TikTok as well. For Google, right now, I think one of the best ways would be to either use, actually create an account with your own domain. So don't create Gmail accounts, create with your domain.
Buy a domain, create an email, and then use that. Okay.
I think that's a really good practice. But another issue currently, I think affiliates are having is compromised sites. That issue is not really in my jurisdiction. It's more related to what kind of if you're using Cloudflare, if you're using WordPress, or if you're using some specific shady website builder. Here, I would recommend just using maybe WordPress and Cloudflare for Google.
What about TikTok ad accounts? This is a hot topic. I'm not a TikTok guy, but a lot of my friends talk about constantly getting banned with TikTok. What are some tips you have there?
So it's
assuming you're using anti-detect browser and then a provider for proxies like Nodemaven.
It's an issue. I only know a handful of users who are doing it successfully. They're very secretive about how they're doing, but there are some bits and tips I found out that some people from your audience may try. So what is on hype right now is using mobile anti-detect browsers. There's GEElark. It's a Chinese company, and they're providing an anti-detect mobile browser. And what I found out is that they are creating accounts on GEElark farming them for some time on a residential proxy or ISP proxy, and then moving it to a browser anti-detect. And it seems to work best for them. This is probably one of the best tips I can give you, is to farm a TikTok account on a mobile anti-detect for some time, and then move it to a browser anti-detect. This is something that I believe is working right now.
What else, if you could speak to the average affiliate that doesn't understand the tech speak, explain to them the benefits of using Nodemaven versus your average proxy out there, whether it's residential, mobile, or data centers.
My favorite topic, and I know I am the founder and CEO of this product. I really love to talk about this topic. You see, when I worked in multi-login, a lot of users asked for proxy recommendations, and we gave out recommendations, and they came back saying that, oh, this proxy is blacklisted. This proxy provider is providing me data center proxies while claiming to be residential. What we did in Nodemaven is we created an IP quality filter, which pre-filters IPs before assigning it to the end users. And this IP filter works this way, is that before connecting to a Nodemaven proxy, we check this IP in various databases. The same databases are used by websites to detect bots. And so we filter out bad IPs and give only high quality IP addresses for the user. The user, it's not just like fluff talk. User can take our proxies, put it into, for example, a pixel scan proxy checker, compare the average fraud score of our proxies, and then compare it to another provider. They will see maybe a 10x, 5x improvements in quality from our proxies. Plus, our proxies, they have a sticky session of 24 hours. So we try to keep it as long as possible, as long as it's possible. It's not
maximized without rotating.
Yes, to maximize this issue with rotation that many people think it's an issue.
Anything else people should know when they're trying to make a decision on proxies?
Good question. Well, specifically for affiliates and those that are managing accounts, I really believe it's a lot. There's a big correlation between account bans and the average quality of a proxy that you're getting. Definitely check your proxy provider for quality. Use free tools like IPQS, ipqualityscore.com, or use also Pixel Scan website, Pixel Scan proxy checker. Your audience, it's a free tool. You can download it to your Firefox browser, insert a list of proxies, and check what is the quality level. I really do believe also another point that they should check is sticky sessions. Sticky sessions are important. It's important to have as long as it as possible. Another point, what you should be checking is a lot of proxy providers, they charge for bandwidth, for traffic, for gigabytes of traffic. I really urge the audience to be careful with that, because some proxy providers, they are saying that, yep, it's expensive, yes, but they are not also expensive. They're sometimes adding an extra 10 or 20% of the traffic that they're consuming. It's a staple in the industry right now.
So Nodemaven has fixed pricing?
We also charge per gigabyte. This is the nature of the rotating residential proxies. So this is the reason why I recommend us as a provider for if the quality of IPs is very important for them. I want to say that there are users that are using data center proxies for Facebook accounts, and it works for them. And I'm happy it works for them, and it should work for them. And you should not change anything when it works for you. But if you find that for your specific case, for your specific geo, you need high quality IP addresses, and you believe this is a critical variable, I believe Nodemaven can help, for sure.
Anything else everyone watching should know about Nodemaven or you?
Well, I really believe at this point you should just choose a stable, normal anti-detect browser. Don't get into the technical details of who is better, who is not, because it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, I've talked to many affiliates. Many of them are using even free tools, and it works for them. A lot of it comes down to an account being aged, an account having a lot of behavioral data inside them, and just using a good enough proxy provider for it to work. I believe an affiliate should be more focused on maximizing ROIs, finding better offers. Just find some stable solutions and use them. Don't get into technical details as much as possible. That's what I think.
All right, brother. How can people learn more about you and Nodemaven?
There's a website. We have Nodemaven website.com. We are building a resource as well for affiliates to learn about these parts so they don't worry about going into technical details. We are a relatively new proxy provider, to be honest. This is something I'm open about, but we are growing. We are serving a lot of affiliate marketers, and I believe they're happy.
Brother, thank you so much for joining, man.
Thank you, John.